Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today it is Q&A time. I did say I'd be filming a Q&A on my boob job. I just want to say before I start this video that I'm not promoting any plastic surgery. Each to their own, it's your body. You choose what you want to do with it, basically. I'm just letting you know my experience. I put a poll out on my Instagram, and I also obviously told you to comment down below on the last video. So I've got a few questions to go through. So let's get on with the first question. So the first question is, I've got them here, by the way. If you see me looking down, it's because I've got the questions here. They're on my MacBook. So the first question is, why did you decide to get done? So I have been wanting a boob job since I left high school, and then it was kind of everybody had developed. Many girls who I was friends with, many girls who was in my year had developed and got boobs. And I was like waiting, and then nothing. Obviously, since high school, so that was like the age of 16, through to 22, I've had insecurities about it since then, really. So I've always been insecure about my chest, things I would pick out. I would be like, oh, that looks really nice, I'll get that, I'll try that. Tries it on, it's flat, and it's always been something that I've said that I will do. Yeah, I was able to do it. The time's right. I'm just gonna go for it. So then the next question is, what cup size have you gone for? Yes, I don't know if you know this, but when you actually go to choose a size, so it doesn't actually come in like an A, B, C, D, double D. It's kind of like, it comes in like CCs, so you can't just go up to a surgeon and be like, oh, can I have a D? And they'll just put a D in you. It's like, it comes in CCs. So I went for 375 cc, so high profile round implants, 375 cc in both boobs. So obviously I'm not entirely sure what my size will be. So I've got the post-op brown one today, so I bought this from Marks & Spencer's. Now that comes in sizes like A, B, C, D, E. The one that the surgery gave me, the Mac and Bra, that wasn't, so it's kind of like, it's your band. So like I got like a small, like a 32, and that's just got like expandable cups, so it can go up to like however far it needs to go. Whereas the ones at Marks & Spencer's didn't. So I went for a 34 double D. So then the next question is, which clinic did you go to? So I chose to go with Pall Mall, which for me, I went to the Newton branch because that was closest for me. So I know there is a few different branches dotted around, but the Newton one was the closest for me. So that's where I went. That's what I went. My surgeon was Mr. Ashley Tops, and he was extremely lovely. Like, he took me through the whole process. He listened to everything that I wanted. It was my surgeon. He was amazing. I would 100% definitely recommend him. He did a great job. Because I love them. So if I could recommend anybody, it would 100% definitely be him. That was the surgery I chose, and the surgeon that I went to. So I did have a consultation with Maya. They're based in Manchester. So I had a consultation with them first, and then I had a consultation with Pall Mall a second. And as soon as I walked into Pall Mall, I met Mr. Tops, it was like, he made me feel so calm, so at ease, that you just know, like, when you're trying to pick your surgeon, like, you get a vibe that when you kind of just know if it's right or if it isn't. So like with Maya, like, I didn't feel like it was right. I went to Pall Mall for my first consultation. There, it was very much like they give you loads of information. They let you try on the different implants. It was very informative. It was dead good. And like I said, once I first met Mr. Tops, I just knew. So the next question I've got is, what was the recovery time like, / how was your recovery? So my recovery was good, to be honest. I'd say for the first few days, so I had it done on the 23rd of May, which was the Monday. So obviously when I came home on the Monday, I was sore. The Tuesday I was sore, and the Wednesday I was sore. The Thursday was, I had a little bit less pain, but it was more the tightness of your chest, because it's like, so it's just so tight. The tightness in the middle especially was probably most painful. The incisions themselves wasn't that painful for me. There was more itchy. Like, all I wanted to do was just itch and itch and itch. Pretty good recovery, really. So like by Friday, Saturday, I would say I was fine. I mean, obviously I still had the tightness on my chest, but like, I could do things than what I've heard other people have been like. So I know it takes long. It differs on each individual and how long obviously you take to recover. But I'd say my recovery was went pretty well. I'd say the first few days, like, I couldn't like get up myself, couldn't like hold my bowl to eat my cereal. I had to get help like getting undressed. I had help showering. Obviously you can't shower for the first 48 hours. Then after that, like, I had like little showers from like the waist down. So I actually had help to do that because I couldn't reach down to do it myself. But I'm feeling loads better now. I mean, we are 1 week and 3 days post-op now. The next question is, so the process was pretty fast, to be honest. I had my first consultation with Pall Mall on the 13th of April, and then I had the surgery on the 23rd of May, so it was pretty fast. So I had like my pre-op on the 11th of May. I had my second consultation on the 16th, so that was to just make sure everything was correct before we went ahead the week after. So make sure the sizing was correct, the implant was correct, just to sign a few more things basically. And then the 23rd of May came. So it was like a month and 10 days after my first consultation when it was done. So yeah, it is pretty quick, to be honest. It was by far one of the best decisions that I have ever made. So the next question is, what happens in the consultations? So in the first consultation that I went to, so Mr. Tops basically asked me questions like why I wanted it done, what I don't like, what I do like, what I want to change, and then he had a look. So what my dislike was just the size. So everything else was fine, the shape, the positioning, all that was fine. It was just, all mine was the size. So that's why I just had a basic breast augmentation. He basically took some measurements and said, obviously, my left boob is slightly larger than my right one, but it wasn't by a really big amount, if you get what I mean. Like, it's a little bit noticeable, but not really. So like you can't, it's not a big noticeable thing, and I wasn't like insecure about it. It's not something that I had ever been like, oh, this boob's larger than this boob, like, oh my god, you can properly tell. Like, I wasn't really that bothered. So we tried some implants in. We went from like a 300 to a 350 to a 400. So on my first consultation I chose to do the 350cc. Then I went away. I thought to myself, I did like the 350, but I also liked the 400. So I kind of was like, well, let's meet in the middle. So that's why on my second consultation, I went back to him and said, is there any possibility that we can do 375? So I'm kind of glad that I made that decision. So yeah, that's kind of what happens in the consultations. So like I said, on the second consultation, you just go through everything that you've decided and just basically put everything in place, which is what we did. Yeah, the consultations are pretty good for getting lots of information, asking whatever you want. So my main question to my surgeon was, when can I fake tan? Because if you know me, you know I hate not fake tanning. Minus my hands, I've literally got fake tan to here and fake tan to here. So it literally is like I've had a t-shirt tan, because you can't tan for 2 weeks. So on Monday, when it's my 2-week mark, you bet I'm going to be putting fake tan on everywhere. And then the last question we've got was, how was the anaesthetic overall? So the anaesthetic wasn't too bad. I was more scared of the needle, like the cannula in your hand. So I went in and I was so nervous about this needle, because it's dead mad, because you literally walk yourself to theatre. I mean, you've got nurses with you, but you just walk to theatre. It's so strange. Like, I've never been in theatre, I've never really been in hospital, I've never had an operation or anything done. So just walking to theatre, I'm just going in the room and just looking at this bed in the middle of a room with like loads of desks around it with all like the tools on and everything. It's just mad. But like, I wasn't bothered about any of that. I was just bothered about that needle going in my hand. I lay down and like the anaesthetic person came over and was just like calming me down. He was saying that it was going to be fine, like you'd no need to worry. So obviously he put the needle and the cannula in my arm, which, to be honest, didn't hurt. Like, I was expecting it to kill. Nothing, didn't hurt at all. And I just remember them, like, they was fiddling with this arm, like doing like my blood pressure and stuff, and they had the cannula and everything in this arm, and then they was like sticking loads of like different monitors on me, and then it was like stream or something nice, and then I was getting like tingly like sensations, as if like I just took a load of pre-workout, and you get that tingly sensation. It was like that, and then next minute, gone. I think I went down at 3 and I came up around 5, I think. Just because I remember when someone was waking me up, there was like, Amy. And I was like waking up like, yeah. And I heard someone say what time it is, and it was like, oh, it's either something to 5 or it's 5 o'clock or something. But so I was probably down for around 2 hours. But then that coming out was so strange. So like, I remember after she was shaking me and I was kind of coming round, my legs were shaking, like it was proper like shaking. And she was like, oh, you okay? Like asking me, was I okay? And I was like, my legs, they're shaking, like they're really, really shaking. And she was like, oh, it's normal, it's fine. But it just felt so weird. I was in pain when I woke up. Like I once I got back to my room and trying to stand up then because so you get pushed back to your room on the bed that you was in, and then you get out of that bed and like they help you into your normal bed in your room. It was like trying to stand up like with dead legs. Like it was so strange. and they gave me some more painkillers and everything, like through the cannula. The cannula just didn't hurt. So it was I reckon it was a good experience with the anaesthetic. It was definitely something that I wouldn't be afraid to do again. I feel like a lot of people are like scared to do it because obviously it's that not knowing what's going to happen while you're under. Yeah, it was fine, it was good. So that's all the questions we have for today. I want to thank everybody that asked me a question and that took the time to watch my last video, and I would love it again if you could like, comment and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in another video.